So here's Leo Messi. And he's got to be wondering how he got here. 2022 World Cup final, the GOAT gets his crown. Hi, Nora, how are you? Look at that. Somehow, inexplicably, Salt Bae is on the field. Those sodium-drenched fingers all over the trophy, and I'm Messi. And my question today is, could this be the most hijacked moment in sports history? All right, you guys know what this picture is? You know what that is? Have you ever seen this before?
Yeah, baby, he says. Yes, today I've had this photo in my phone for 4 years since the moment it happened, right? And not the most beautiful thing, but it is the most irresistible thing, and that's what we're after here. Welcome back to Real Deal Episode 2. Thank you so much for Episode 1 likes and subscribes and everything that goes with that. But we go forward to Episode 2. It's a show about my favorite sports moments, those irresistible ones that I can't put down. And like I said, for 4 years, this has been on my phone. This is Salt Bae and Messi. I can't get my head around how the greatest athlete in the history of his sport finally climbed atop the mountain. And what does he have? He has just a few seconds with the trophy before a celebration on the field where Salt Bae, a celebrity chef, an influencer, a social hijacker, you call him what you will, had as much time with the trophy as Leo Messi did, which is just an incredible thing. And it got me thinking, not so much how did he get on the field. I know, I can figure that out. FIFA gave him a hookup. He's been giving FIFA hookups for years. Well, we'll ask our guest exactly, maybe. But not how, but how did he think he could actually be there and belong there and be in the moment? How does that happen? And what was Messi thinking with that face that tells us everything and nothing at the same time? That's today's episode. Now for today's top 5 most hijacked moments in sports. Number 6, Steve Bartman and the Cubs in the 2003 NLCS. It's number 6 for a reason, because it's not about Steve Bartman. It's about us in sports media. This one really grinds my gears, but it's a story for another day. But the hijacking was on people of my ilk and sports media, and what became of Steve Bartman in that story and the Cubs. Number 5 most hijacked story in sports, Super Bowl 38. Halftime, what's known as the Janet Jackson halftime. What history should lead us to believe is the Justin Timberlake halftime hijacked moment. Number 4 most hijacked moment in sports. All right, this is a reality version. Randy Johnson, Bird. Because there's no moment in spring training ever again for me. I can't think of spring training without what happened to this poor bird, erased from the face of the earth by this Randy Johnson pitch. That's a hijacking. Number 3 most hijacked moment in sports history. This is where I am placing Salt Bae and Leo Messi for the moment. We'll see what happens with our conversation. But it's a tie. It's number 3 with a moment from the Red Sox World Series. Who is on the field in the seconds after? Jimmy Fallon, Drew Barrymore, and a camera crew, a film crew, filming Fever Pitch in real time. You've waited your whole life to see the Red Sox win a World Series, and now you're seeing Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore act their way through it. That's a hijacking. Number 2 most hijacked moment in sports history. Mike Tyson has just defeated Lou Savarese, and now he's on the microphone taunting Lennox Lewis. I love this moment for a few reasons, all right? Look, see, he's working the mic, and he's working the crowd, and he's building up, and he's talking about how I'm cut from a different cloth, and I want you, Lennox Lewis. And then he delivers the line, I want to eat your children. I want to eat your children. The most hijacked moment in sports history, maybe. Number 2 for me. And here's what I specifically love about this moment. You know, he's got his whole crew behind him, his team, his trainer and staff. And everybody's loving everything he's putting down. Oh, yeah, you tell him. You get Lennox Lewis. I'm gonna beat you in the fight. Oh, you get him. Yeah, that's right. Oh, I'm gonna knock your socks off. Oh, yeah, you get him. You get him. I'm gonna eat your children. Yeah, what? You know, you're really, the guy in the stuck. The man in the back is stuck in a face like, what did we just sign up for? Oh, And the number one most hijacked moment in sports history, 1994 NBA Finals. White 4 Bronco, O.J. Simpson. And I don't need to say anymore. That's my list right now. Maybe Salt Bae and Messi will move up or move down after today's conversation. Let's say hello to our guest. Let's make it real. Can I get you a water, coffee, edamame?
I'm good. I've got, in a very English fashion, I've got a cup of tea here for me.
A spot of tea, my friend. I can't deny that this is how we came to be here, because the first thing I think about when I think about you is this photo. In the entire industry, sports writing, and then maybe in the entire world, there's a word cloud, right? All the words we use in life, and the ones you use more are bigger. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
For you, of everybody in the world, I would say your ratio of Leo Messi to Salt Bae is the 1-to-1. It's the closest. You have written about this and talked about this more than anyone. Do you regret that?
I mean, it's not. I wouldn't put it on the top of my my resume as a kind of as supposed to be a football writer. Is it? Have I said more about the greatest footballer of all time,
Yes,
or have I said more about a Turkish restaurant owner?
Yeah.
Tricky, isn't it?
This is a moment burned in my brain. And this is why I have this show, Nick. I need to get these moments out of the loop in my head. I want you to help me retire this, put it away in a vault somewhere. I don't know. Because when this happened 4 years ago, it blew my mind. I mean, just the confluence of culture, sports, of somebody who's not supposed to be there and was there. We want to talk about, I rewatched the game, the 2022 World Cup final. I know how I felt watching it. Antonella was a relative newborn, and I remember she was sleeping on me, which is one of the greatest things in life, the skin to skin. But I started to be quiet watching I thought it was the greatest final ever. Now we've got some time since, but take it, give it to me. Is it the greatest final ever?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the greatest final of my lifetime, and it was. There were kind of two levels to it, really. I suppose there was the fact that it was such a kind of thrilling game, and it kind of went back and forth, and there were penalties, and there's the shootout. But then there's the story of Messi and how he developed from, he was born in Argentina but moved to Barcelona at a very young age. So for a long time, people in Argentina kind of thought he was Catalan. Basically, they didn't really accept him as truly kind of Argentinian.
Exactly. So this is about acceptance and self-identity for me too, which, I mean, it's across the board. The sheer number of big ideas and big topics here were enormous. And the gameplay, as good as you can, I mean, going back and watching, Mbappé was on another planet. Di Maria, similarly, a different universe until he had to come out. Messi delivered. And you have all those plot lines, and then Martinez a save, and all these things. So the rewatch for me was incredible. But this show is not just about rewatching; it's about reliving a moment. For me, I have something. I rewatched the trophy presentation, which is why we're here, and I have something for you right now, Mr. Nick Miller. Nick Miller, simply irresistible. Well, Mr. Miller, do you have reporter's notebook in front of you by chance?
I do have a reporter's notebook. Yeah. Pen and paper, like an old
pen and paper will work, my friend. But whenever a reporter uses pen and paper, it becomes a reporter's notebook. Nick, you know this. Simply irresistible question. This is how we start this show. How many seconds did Salt Bae have his hands on the World Cup trophy in the videos he posted? Yeah, I see your face right there. Now you're a monument to consider thought again. Look at you. Those glasses, by the way, are an entire philosophy. I mean, you have established a look here. I think you ride this one to the end. The hair's never going anywhere. The beard's outstanding. You ride those glasses to the end. Okay, I asked you a simply irresistible question. So yeah, this is about the sheer number of seconds, to the millisecond, if you like, Mr. Miller. How many seconds did Salt Bae have his hands on the World Cup trophy in the videos he posted on social media?
I think he had his hands on the World Cup trophy for. You know, I'm gonna pick 97 seconds, because that was the exact time between Kylian Mbappe's 2 goals, and there's some kind of cosmic thing that would link them together.
If anything, you wrote 97. Okay, so 97 is how, and your reasoning was it's a special number in this game. I have been a sports trivia stat boy my whole life, and I was and that was one of the things I circled in this game. Mbappe, 2 goals in 97 seconds. How that gets forgotten, I guess, in the greater scheme of things, is yet another delicious layer. 97 seconds, Salt Bae? Whew! My man, the man who has written and talked more, just a little bit over. Price is Right, you'd be thrown off. 25 seconds, his hands, his sodium-drenched hands pawing the World Cup trophy. But also, I should say that's an asterisk, because there's a +3, because he did the Salt Bae maneuver in the airspace of the World Cup trophy for an extra 3, so 28 seconds. And it felt like an eternity when the world got it. But let's go follow up here. This is not as irresistible. It's just, simply, but total number of time Leo Messi held it on the podium in the trophy presentation.
The fact that you're asking me that, it means it's probably going to be closer than it should be to the Salt Bae number. But I've gone too high with 97, so I'll go 51.
Ooh, 91 seconds.
91
seconds.
This is not good at all.
But here's why we arrived at this moment for us. You writing for The Athletic and the New York Times, I doing an entire podcast based on this 25-second pawing of the World Cup trophy. That's 30%. Salt Bae got 30% of time as the greatest soccer player in his crowning achievement of his career got with the trophy. It's impossible. Can you resist that? Is it not simply irresistible? Thank you, Robert Palmer. Thank you, Nick. We're gonna call that an L for you. I'm keeping standings. You're a little bit off on our score there, but we're gonna appreciate that. Thank you for playing along. Let's get to the big deal. The GOAT gets his crown, but somehow, inexplicably, Salt Bae is on the field. Sodium-drenched hands on the trophy, on Messi, on the moment. A moment hijacked for sure, but what if that's not the only reason this moment survives, and that we see ourselves in that clout-chasing chef? Well, that's our episode in a nutshell, and that's how we start. I want to build the world here. The 3 minutes before the moment, but really the 3 hours before the moment, because there's no question. I'm not trying to say Salt Bae and Messi is bigger than the World Cup final. Just let's relive this game just for a second. What do you think people forget about the 2022 World Cup final?
One of the things they forget is that I think everyone remembers the first half when Argentina scored 2 goals, and then they remember from when Mbappé scored his first goal, because in the kind of middle bit was just a kind of standard game, and then it all went insane. Mbappé scored those 2 goals in 97 seconds. People forget that both teams almost won the game in extra time. France had this incredible chance that Emi Martinez saved. Messi almost scored a winner, which would have, it would have been maybe one of the greatest moments in football history.
And then Dibu Martinez's save, still forgotten, while making the rounds every month on social media and getting 1 million views. I mean, an all-time great save. I saw his rating for the game in my research here, 6.3 for Emiliano Martinez. I mean, I don't know how you get a 6.3 in a game where 2 goals were on the spot, and you make a save like that. I mean, that's Di Maria was a menace in this game from the 60 minutes he was on the field. He was great. Oh, because we've arrived at this moment. I'm asking you to set the picture for the 3 hours before. But even if I can go back 4 years earlier, Messi goes out at the point of the 2018 World Cup. He's 31 years of age. The Copas have yet to even arrive, right? His career is viewed in a specific way, incredible success, but the hardware for his country not there. And the call of the exit on the gate and in the telecast goes something like this, Nick. Please allow me for a second. And surely today, the last time we'll ever see Leo Messi in a World Cup pitch. Count the rings of that Argentine oak. 31 years of age, the ancient remains surely will not be here 4 years from now, yada, yada, yada. I mean, it was packaged and a foregone conclusion he wouldn't be playing in the 2022 World Cup for his club. So talk to me more about those 4 years to get Messi in position to get in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, well, he'd already retired from international football once after the 2016 Copa America, so everyone thought that 2018 was going to be his last chance to win the World Cup, which was, you know, no one has ever really ever had any doubt about his talent, but he's always compared against Diego Maradona. Diego Maradona won the World Cup on his own in 1986, pretty much. So there was always this thing of, well, yeah, he's great, but he's never won the World Cup, so, you know, and that was viewed as his last chance. And then there's something changed in that 4 years. It wasn't anything about how Messi played. It wasn't even about how the Argentina played with him, because although that did improve. But there was just a sort of attitude change with Messi. He became, for want of a kind of better phrase, a little bit more Argentinian, a little bit more confrontational, a little bit more, more of a kind of like an outward leader.
That's interesting to me. Maybe I sensed that, but I haven't put that into words. Explain that a little bit. More confrontational. You got a different Messi, you're telling me, from 2016 to 2018 and then to 2022.
Yeah, I mean, he's famously he famously is a very boring interview. He's like, I know a journalist who's interviewed him 2 times, and he said if he was offered a 3rd time, he wouldn't bother because he just doesn't say anything interesting. And then I think it was at the 2022 World Cup. There's a very famous clip of he was doing an interview, and there was an opposition player, I think it was a Dutch player, who he thought was like trying to distract him or something, and he stopped the interview halfway through with TV to just kind of shout at this other guy, this Dutch player. He called him Bobo, which is a sort of Argentinian phrase for, it means like dum-dum, basically.
Oh, that translates. I got it. I had it from the start.
Yeah, and that
was the initial name
of
of the show, actually, was Bobo. I'm going for that. You can sense it in the way we see a jersey swap would happen with Ronaldo, and Messi has been a little bit slower to do that. You can sense his focus on the field is that, but even, was there any confrontation you sensed from Messi among the team? The way a team interacts with someone that they see as a god, right? These younger players, Enzo Fernandez won the youngest in the tournament award, right? Imagine playing with Messi at this moment. You know, is he getting a Messi that he is just in awe of? Is he getting a Messi that's stirring it up a little bit among the roster?
No, the thing about that team it became in about 2020 or so is that it was very united. They were all almost wanting to win things for Messi. Yeah. If you look at the Copa America final a year or so before this World Cup final, if you look at the celebrations at the end, the players didn't kind of go off and celebrate as you normally would. They all went to Messi. Yeah. Everyone went to Messi because there was a feeling that they were winning it for him. And then it was similar at the end of this World Cup final. A load of the players went to Messi. Messi kind of sank to his knees, and everyone kind of crowded around him. So there was this sense that that these players had the duty to win the World Cup for this guy. So that was one of the big things that changed, I think.
I appreciate you saying that, because that is in world sport to see that. Of course, I'm coming from a background of, I can think of, let's say, the Los Angeles Lakers in the end of Kobe's career. You know, they're trying to get Kobe on the field, put him in the court, and put him in position to score 80 or 60 in his last game, but that team can't win because they are too ingrained in building a team around a guy that can't deliver. And the fact is, Messi was delivering, and the Copas did come in that time. It's incredible. The call, again, I'm a big call guy, call of the game, after the first goal from the spot. A goal forevermore, his moment in infinity. And I love that, because you're really setting yourself up for this call to last forever if the game ends 1-0. It doesn't end 1-0 because, Mbappé. I mean, just on another planet. 2 goals in those 97 seconds, like you said. If you can take yourself back to 2022 and this exact moment, who is the better player in this exact moment, Mbappé or Messi?
I think still Messi, but you could say that there wasn't any other player that could have dragged it back for France other than Mbappe. They looked completely dead and gone in that first half, and yeah, they needed someone as great as Mbappe to bring it back for them.
His touch on the second goal, so audacious. I mean, it really is. I would have to disagree with you, my friend. I just think in this moment, at that time, 2022, and we are very rose-colored for Messi because we know he wins, but Mbappe, to me, watching the game, the pace, of course, will always be in favor of Mbappe. But the strikes and the audacity on that goal. Oh, Martinez's save. We had no business getting to penalties, and we get to penalties. And in penalties now, of course, we have Messi and Mbappe delivering, but we have the psychological warfare we've come to see from our favorite keepers. And I think Martinez. Do you remember this specifically? How Dibu was really kicking it around and getting in the head?
Yeah, he was playing mind games with all the French takers. He was kicking the ball away. He got a yellow card in the shootout, which is one of the most pointless things ever. Because I don't know, what are you going to do? Just take the yellow card, you'll be fine. But yeah, it's his way of like taking control of the situation. It's less about kind of being cruel to the opposition. It's more a case of going, yeah, I'm the boss here. You're just an incidental part of it, and I'm gonna make this save.
So we all know what happens next. Novellas have been written about it. Songs, of course. Argentina gets their cup. Messi gets his moment, and it's glorious. It's glorious to see the trophy presentation. You know, the images of him in previous cups, staring at it, looking at it from distance in that way that one does, and then to be able to hold it and kiss it for those 91 seconds. We've talked steaks. Let's talk steaks. Heavily seasoned steaks. Here we go. Can you give me Salt Bae? 30 seconds or less. Tell me his whole life story, please, Nick.
Oh man. Well, originally he was a butcher from quite a sort of remote area of Turkey, and he eventually opened up a restaurant in Istanbul. Then one of his kind of financial backers was also a board member at Fenerbahce, one of the biggest football clubs in Istanbul. And to generate some publicity, he started inviting players to this restaurant to kind of, take their picture. It was a social media thing. It kind of grew from there. And that is how kind of this guy, Salt Bae, his real name is Nusret Gökçe. And that's how he became so kind of entwined with football. And the kind of the scale of the players, the fame level of the players gradually kept increasing. And then we became this kind of viral social media sensation. It became something that, footballers just went there so they could say they've been there. I don't think they necessarily went because they thought it was the greatest steak in the world. They just
there is some dispute over, yes, exactly how great this steak was, in fact. But even to the point, January 7, 2017, the 35-second Instagram post said Ottoman steak, and the millions upon millions of views that came in, the man handling this meat in the way he was, carving it was, and the flourish with this. I don't even know. I've been thinking for days how to describe the salt flourish again, And for me, it was a beak. It was a duck beak. You get duck beak from this? I get duck beak.
Yeah, I would describe it as if you're pretending your arm is a snake for a child.
Okay, yeah, the snake charmer.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
And then you get and I don't think there's necessarily any kind of like culinary reason why you have to sprinkle the salt off your arm and it goes in the steak. But he's
well, no, you really want your salt to be touching a man's elbow before you eat it. I don't think we could say enough about the look, the white fitted t-shirts, muscular build, gold rimmed sunglasses, and the 50 million followers he had in that first year. But to the review from the critics, a personal victory over your body and instincts and mouth just to eat. That's of all the reviews, that's one of them. So there we go. So that's our background on Salt Bae. Now our moment after those 91 seconds where Messi gets his alone time with the trophy. When you first noticed Salt Bae's post, Nick?
It felt like the kind of like natural conclusion of this guy. So he had got himself well in with Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA. They seem to post about each other constantly on Instagram.
They don't seem to post about each other. He may have been Mama Bird feeding him steak at his restaurant 10 times. There's a Lady in the Tramp situation between the two of them with steak. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so through that he secured himself some VVIP, not just VIP, VVIP tickets for the World Cup final. And at the end, he told the guy who was supposed to be chaperoning him that he just wanted to go down and congratulate the players. Some of these players have been to his restaurant. Hey, they know me. They'll be delighted to see me. It'll be wonderful. So he goes down. The handler says, you can go, but you must not go on the pitch and you must not touch the World Cup trophy. The handler was distracted for a second. Salt Bae goes on.
Distracted. Okay. The famed distraction. Yeah. There we go. Distracted by salt.
Maybe there was a like a sort of puff of things.
Yes, well, the wrestler manager, Mr. Fuji, used to throw salt in wrestlers' eyes and distract them, and that was it. That's all it took. Then game over. How he gets on the field is the least interesting part of this story to me, if I could say that respectfully. We got, the photos of him for the previous 5 years. I don't think this is some big shocker how he would have got on the field. Who gets to touch the World Cup trophy?
Very, very few people. FIFA are very kind of strict about this, and you basically there are two categories. There are people who have won it, so either a coach or a player who've won it before, or assorted dignitaries. So the FIFA president or presidents of countries, basically. So whoever presents the trophy. So Donald Trump was going to get to touch the trophy at some point later this summer, but there's a very, very select list of people who are allowed to touch the trophy.
And you can understand globally a fan's view of this. You have to win it to touch it. We have had such a great history of players walking by after finishing second. I'm thinking of Zidane in his cup with the headbutt, right? Where he's just staring at it and looking at it. You're thinking of Messi looking at it. You don't touch it if you don't win it. You can't touch it if you don't win it. And now we have somebody who has no business being there, pawing at it. I'm thinking, look at this. I mean, he is finger wagging. Who is that? Romero's kid? He's finger wagging children away from a 2-year-old. No, this is mine, he's saying. He's got his hands all over with the Di Maria making a face, He is luxuriating in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he has decided that he belongs here, Maybe these players have worked their whole lives and to achieve their dreams, but in his head, he deserves to be touching this trophy as well. Which you could talk about this as a sort of parable about modern fame, but maybe that's a bit too kind of deep.
Oh no! I'm here for parables about modern fame. Please hit at me.
The affirmation that all these social media followers can give can elevate someone's opinion of themselves beyond that of a mere steak cooker or salter. And the fact that all these footballers come to his restaurant to have not only eat the steak but have the salt sprinkled on it. That's it's gonna inflate anyone's ego, and when you've already got a decent sized ego, that's how you get to the position where he kind of thinks,
I think we have more than a decent sized ego in play here. But your point is right. I mean, social media or the greater culture tells us, make yourself part of the moment, get in there any way you can, take the spotlight, take it and run. And Salt Bae, to me, is taking this to its natural conclusion in this moment. That's how I view it as a neutral observer who likes the weird, This guy's hitting the playbook as we learned it to be, mark for mark for mark. Finger wagging the little kid was too much for me. It was. But when Messi sees him on the field, can we talk about that for a second? There's 2 pulls here, and the look Messi gives him says, nothing and everything at the same time for me. But I mean, that's just impossible. Look at that look.
When I was writing an article about this, I was trying to think of some kind of clever simile or something to describe Messi's look. But I gave up on all that and just thought it's the kind of look that you would give someone if they came onto the pitch at the end of the World Cup final who didn't belong there.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Was the kind of look. And he he grabbed Messi and kind of pointed over to whoever it was who was taking the pictures, and Messi was just kind of peering as if to say, I don't know what's happening here.
He said many things after this, Salt Bae, in a couple of very honest interviews. I was impressed that he actually addressed it, but one was, I didn't go on the pitch with the purpose of advertising. I didn't kick anybody. And he said a line I loved, didn't feel a stranger. He didn't feel like he was a stranger in that space, which is, I mean, sure, man, yeah. And that to me gets into his mindset. But I want to ask a question here. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable, Nick. We're friends. We met each other an hour ago. But are we lame for caring?
I don't think so, no, because it is a kind of a symbol of what, in some ways, of what FIFA has become. Like, it's been all too kind of concerned with impressing famous people, and this was the kind of the high or low point of that, depending on your point of view. So yeah, ultimately it doesn't matter. This happened after the game. At least he didn't run onto the pitch during the game, so it didn't affect.
That may have been in play too. I mean, honestly,
he could. If anyone was going to do it, then it could have been him. Someone did that in the previous World Cup final. Someone ran onto the pitch to publicise something or other in 2018. So at least he didn't do that. But he did come onto the pitch and kind of, interrupt or ruin the special moment that all these players have been working up to all the years.
Alternate timeline. If it's Jose Andres, who's now a world humanitarian in some ways, and a chef and a big football supporter. If it's Guy Fieri, who is also a humanitarian in many ways.
Sure.
If it's Julia Child, going back many, many years, but somebody who's beloved in that way. Is there a different response?
Yeah, probably, because you think that they're not necessarily doing it for their own rampant self-publicity. They're not necessarily, doing it for an Instagram post. They might just got carried away with the moment, or they might have been invited on. You don't know, but yeah, I think that the thing that people already hated this guy, they already saw him as this kind of enormous narcissist who just tried to kind of attach himself to other people, particularly famous footballers, to advance himself. People found him extremely irritating for those reasons. So if it was someone else, if it was Julia Child, that would have been a fantastic sight to see. Julia Child kind of running onto the pitch.
Yeah, right. Next to
1970s
Messi
or something.
She would be a foot and a half taller than him. She'd take him. Oh, that'd be great. She'd win every ball in the box, head it in. Julia Child. Oh man, yeah. I posit a theory. This photo, this moment leads to the downfall of his empire, not because of the backlash, but because what the backlash revealed, that it was just about meme culture, that it was just about, that he was as thin as that. And the evidence there, I believe you wrote to this, or we can now establish, locations have closed, and he's doing a fixed price lunch, as well. Am I off the mark there? Could one moment like this fall an empire?
I don't think he's quite taken down his empire. So he has been at this World Cup because he's opening a new restaurant in Mexico City. So it's not like he's kind of in the street. And I think his restaurants still do okay. Maybe less people are buying the tomahawk steak for $600 or whatever, how much it costs. But he's certainly not at the level of fame and influence that he was before this World Cup, because people viewed this as as going too far, as as a bit of a betrayal, really, for the people who trusted him.
Approaching the anniversary of this, of course, 4 years, I should say, because the anniversary will be later in the year because of the Qatar timing of the tournament. But the posts even this week that are getting traffic, millions upon millions. He stepped on the field once, touched the trophy, and disappeared from the face of the earth. I mean, we have now conspiracy theories that not only FIFA ran an investigation, and consider me one of the people that was not holding my breath for FIFA's investigation here. And again, how he came to be on the field, this is not Sherlock Holmes here. We can establish that he was popular and enabled and a very, very important person to them in some ways, because probably $1 million worth of stakes were served through the years. But I mean, we're dealing with a man whose empire is certainly not the same. Messi got the trophy, Salt Bae got the picture. Which one lasted longer? I think we have a pretty obvious answer there for our GOAT.
I think Lionel Messi's legacy is going to last a little bit longer.
Yes, of course. We've done the history, Nick. We've done the psychology. We've done the soccer. Now it's time to completely ruin it, my friend. I told you how much I love the call of the game. I adored my play-by-play announcers. Who was your play-by-play announcer in your youth, Nick?
Well, there's a British guy called Barry Davis who was just he had a beautiful voice, and he had a really distinct way of saying things. So yeah, he was my guy.
Yes, and now the voices of football now for our World Cup. I am an Ian Dark man, really love an absolute firecracker. I believe it's Ian Crocker who likes to asking questions. He's a big believer in asking questions. And then JP Telecamera's very staccato call of the game. Love that stuff. You will not be doing any of these, gentlemen, in this call of this moment. I have a list here. I wrote this down as I was walking into this random studio that I just barged in today to do this show. Call it is a moment for us to get a replay of the moment, but you don't have any control over what I'm about to tell you right now. Could it be Shakespeare? Can you do the call of the moment in a Shakespearean iambic pentameter? ASMR would be something I wrote down here. Bedtime story, movie trailer, morning zoo crew. You're not getting any of those, my friend. Nick Miller, David Attenborough, nature documentary. Look at you, your face. You're not even giving me anything on the face. Take us from World Cup glory to planet Earth. David Attenborough noticing Salt Bae on the pitch.
And the Argentina players celebrate on the field. And wait, what's that? It's a Turkish steak cooker. He's coming to the pitch. He's taking the World Cup, as is his natural instinct to do. And he is posing for photographs with people who don't want him to be there. Known for his strange salt sprinkling ritual, Mr. Salt Bae.
And there we go. Thank you very much, Nick Miller, for trying that out for me. Everybody gets a real gift. I'm not sure if you saw me. I've been, of course, on my phone getting some of my notes here. And we are going to say goodbye to Mr. Ray Liotta at this moment. Okay? Forever in time, your phone will now be Messi and Salt Bae, sprinkled with a little of that finest salt here.
Thank you so much. Again, hype man. I need you every time I walk into a room.
Nick, have a wonderful rest of your cup and then get back home to your family. All right, bring it in here. There he is. Thank you, Nick Miller. I need more English friends. I have many English friends and I love them, but you can always use more. Oh, that's the good stuff. All right, now we walk. I've had this moment in my phone for 4 years, and I send it to my friends whenever someone is trying too hard or showing up where they don't belong. Every time I send it wholly thinking, you're Salt Bae, buddy. Watch yourself. You want to be part of a moment, and you want to steal somebody's sunshine. But now I think about it, and like, what does that sound like? I've spent my whole career trying to be part of the conversation. Sometimes I add something, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just wandered onto the field, if I could draw this out a little bit more. You hear the line main character syndrome, and everyone throws that around like it's an insult. And I get it, but I would argue everybody should be the main character in their own life. But what I hear today is the trouble starts when you cast yourself as the main character in somebody else's photo, right? Could it be that's why this picture never left my phone? I don't know. But it might be that sometimes I remind myself of Salt Bae every once in a while. And that is your real 1 minute. Did I hit the number? Yes!